Hi sisters, it's good to chat with you again, and in this video I would like to really talk through with you about divine purpose. I just feel we need to kind of clarify what that is all about and what we mean when we say divine purpose. I've touched on this before in other videos, but I want to make a video specifically about divine purpose. So this is for all of our hearts, and I just want to open my heart up and make you feel so welcome. And I'm going to start by saying that my divine purpose, and I've come to a place of understanding that my divine purpose is to be an empowerer, and particularly an empowerer of women. And I've been on a journey and for a number of years now, and that has led me into this place of being an empowerer. And it came to me very clearly one day, probably about 6 years ago or so, the universe was calling me to be an empowerer, and that was my divine calling, my divine purpose. So we know what we mean, don't we, when we say the word divine. Divine means from the universe, from God, that deep sacred place that is within the universe out there, but also inside of us here. We've been birthed by the universe, for the universe, inside the universe, all at the same time, if that kind of makes sense. And so if the universe has sent us, we know then that we are on a divine mission. And our purpose, of course, we know what the word purpose means. It means our job, our calling. I mean, it's bigger than a job, and it's not a career. It's a calling. It's in the sense that I'm talking about divine purpose. How I can explain it best is really, it's an overarching sense of something that is on our lives and drawing us out of ourselves, moving us forward into something that is totally unique to us, and how we express that and work that out in our lives, and yet completely defines us, but at the same time we define it. Now that sounds kind of like wordy, I understand that, but really that's how the universe has kind of planned it out for us to be. We are here, specially handpicked, hand-chosen to fulfill this special task. But it's not a burden and it's not a problem, but because the universe has chosen us, me specifically, to do my task, it is a joy and a blessing and a release and a fulfillment, because in it I can be who I'm intended to be. So it's not a job in the sense that we understand in a worldly way what job means, and yet it is a job. Does that make kind of sense? Or we need to discuss this more on the page? I know, as we get into kind of complicated kind of waters here. So really, it's an overarching sense of what is over our lives. If you can think of like a banner headline, a bird's eye view of what our life could be. So for me, I know that the whole of my experience has led me to this place where I know the universe for sure has called me to be an empowerer. And the reason that I kind of understand that is because I one day was journaling out some of these very deep thoughts from my heart, and I just felt that this deep call, this deep kind of stretch to move into this whole area of being empowered. Probably in some regard, I understand that because my experience, as I've said before, was not one of empowerment, and the opposite of empowerment is oppression. And I definitely want to stand against oppression in all of its forms. So really, it is a banner headline from the universe over our whole kind of life experience, and it's always going to be something wonderful and good and a blessing to everyone around us, and for ourselves, and for the greater good of the world. Okay, so let's just think of some things that it could be. I'm just going to give you a few examples, but there is actually no limit. So we could have a divine purpose of being a truth teller. For example, you could be a truth teller, which means that you are going to major in on always having the truth in your life. It's so important to you. You feel called to present the truth in all of its forms, however that's ever presented to you, and to have the truth spoken, and to hear no lies, and to not ever walk in a place of deceit. I mean, obviously all of us should be walking in that place anyway, but some of us are called to specifically detail that out and to promote that in their kind of life space, in their queendom around them, so other people kind of catch that vision and catch that boundary, and it's specific. Or you might be a peace warrior, where you major in on things to do with peace, and that might mean to be an activist for peace, or it just might mean that you start from a place of peace in your own world, in your own life, and that you go for peace in every context that you can think of, and you develop peace until you have peace in every single area that you can think of in your entire life, and you keep on growing in that space. Or it might be that you are into justice and fairness. That might be your divine purpose, that you were called by the universe to promote justice and fairness. That is such an important thing. So you might be somebody that has to do that in your dealings with as you walk through life, and to walk in that place again, as we said. So it's something that the universe is calling you to, that sits over your life, and everything about you becomes about that thing. You become known for that thing. Your kind of spirit sings with the idea, and you are going to go for it in every single context that you can think of. Can you see what I kind of mean there? I mean, there is no limit. There really is no limit to what your divine purpose could be. So we're all on a journey really to find out what our divine purpose is. We've each got one, and it took me until I was probably 41 to find out what my divine purpose is. And I really hope and pray that my sisters will find out a much earlier age. The ideal age to start working on these things is in your 20s, early 20s, because life is just so much easier. Because what we're doing with our divine purpose is we're building a platform on which everything else in our lives that we place in can become it becomes a building block for, and everything is flavoured by the fact that we're walking in our divine purpose. Do you see what I mean? So I'm really interested to know what the universe is calling you to, and it may take some time to work this through, and for many of us, we're going to need the help of our sisterhood to help us walk in this path. And this is why we need to be sisters together. We need time alone, and we need time in nature to kind of absorb what we feel the universe is telling us and to journal our thoughts out. But we also need to use our sisterhood as a soundboard. And I can guarantee that when we all of us do this, and we all work on our divine purpose, and we affirm each other in it, we are going to be so powerful, because each one of us is working to our divine purpose together to make an amazing whole. Can you imagine the power that's going to come together to rise up? Can you imagine? I mean, it's just mind-blowing. It really truly is. And so this is my heart, that we would, all of us, understand what divine purpose is and begin to explore it for ourselves and walk in it, and that we would help each other along the way. And if you need help to get started on this journey, then come to our Facebook page, Heart Maidens. PM me directly. I really don't mind. I love this stuff, and I'll do my best to kind of help you work it through. And there's no rush. We need time to kind of absorb this in our spirit and understand from our inner she where we're kind of headed with this. Okay? So this is really what I wanted to talk about in terms of what divine purpose is. It's incredibly exciting. And I know for sure that when we walk in our place of our divine purpose, there we find fulfillment. and we find fulfillment because we can see that we can shift and shape the attitudes around us, because we're walking in a place of alignment with the universe. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Okay, so this is what I wanted to bring, and I love your heart so, so much. And I just want to say to you, go for it, sister, because this is the time to rise. This is our time to rise together. Mwah.